Sounds a whole lot better.
Hello.
Hopefully it sounds better because it's hard to sound worse.
Hey.
Yeah,
Pretty
oh,
bad. It was
boo.
pretty bad.
This looks terrible, and I hate it.
All right. Before we start, do you want to do a quick check the voice on stream, see if it sounds better?
Sing me a song.
You're the piano man?
Sing me a song tonight.
Sing me a song, you're the piano man. Sing me a song.
That sounds better, actually.
Does it sound better? Okay.
The singing does not, but the mic
I'm
quality
not
sounds
Elton
great.
John, y'all. I'm not that sexy.
No one is. No one is.
He actually can sing very well. Don't let him fool you.
Maybe.
Woo.
Woo!
That's how I sing.
Woo! We got biddies.
Biddies.
Well, that was me.
Oh, I set up something right. I saw
I
actual
know,
shit
babe.
spam
It's
across.
funny.
Man, I wish Twitch worked on my phone so I could actually watch this stuff too.
I know.
Never.
I can watch the stream, but I can't see the chat. So
All right, for those
I'm already looking
who
at your face.
tried to bear through the original terrible voice that was coming through, as a summary, the beginning, all that essentially happened was the party made their way to a wealthy retired adventurer and merchant named Sindra Sylvain. They had been summoned to come speak with her about a matter of import, which just so happened to be dealing with the death curse, which is causing the healing properties or the life restoring properties of magic not to function. And for those who had previously been restored to life through such magics, they're slowly rotting away, and it seems like there is nothing that can be done. They just finished eating a quite nice meal, and they've been summoned into Sindra Sylvain's personal quarters. I will go ahead and review this quick little summary. A uniformed attendant had taken them upstairs, up a grand staircase in this large mansion, and ushered them into a wood-paneled room with a fireplace, comfortable chairs, heavy table bearing goblets and bottles of wine. The darkly paneled walls are hung with maps and sea charts. Racks and shelves and cabinets hold hundreds more of rolled-up maps and charts. The person sitting in the overstuffed chair near the fire is pretty hard to discern, can't tell a gender, only because the person's head emerges from under a heavy blanket draped over the chair, and an embroidered hood and silver mask conceal the wearer's face. She has a very dry, raspy voice, and she has already explained, to help yourselves to the wine and seat yourselves, my friend. She was already asked about why she sounded as such. It's kind of parched. She had explained that the death curse you've heard about has struck me. I don't know how much longer I'll last before I perish. Clerics have no help to offer, and they're stymied by what is happening. And upon saying that, a turtle-like humanoid came out from one of the back rooms, and everybody's kind of perplexed by what the deal is with this particular person. Got a very scarred up face, wearing a shield on their back, which seems to be made of a giant shell. I mean, it looks like an actual turtle. And for those who made nature checks, Heskin and Marmorn, you have heard stories about a particular race of folk from Chult, a jungle peninsula way to the south of Faerun's Sword Coast, where y'all are currently located. These particular race of turtle people are known as Tortles, and they are pretty tribal. They tend to be kind of isolated for the most part, and they're known to be very wise, but not as long-lived of an age as the normal turtles, who live quite some time. They're just another type of reptilian race of this particular world, and they're kind of unique to Chult, which is a very dangerous land.
Ooh, I've heard many stories of these creatures. Wise turtles.
The turtle that kind of hears you speak, and they look at you with their one good eye. And if they could manage a sort of a smile, you would think that it is more like just their beak kind of opens up a bit. It's kind of hard to get a good discernment of their expression on their face just because their beak is not malleable like normal people flesh.
That's very good, Mormon. You made them happy for knowing what they were. That's very friendly of you.
Is it friendly to talk about someone like that?
It's what friendly to what?
Probably
Just
not.
talking about someone like they're not there. Hello, by the way.
Yes, hello again.
Greetings.
Welcome.
Greetings,
They are very-
adventurers. You're friends of Lady Syndra.
Yes.
Friends
yes.
is a strong word, but sure, we'll go with that.
Associates, then, perhaps.
More like it.
That may be too weak, but good enough.
For now.
Well, my name is Nali Kashaga, good friend of the Lady Syndra Sylvain. I am what you would call her caretaker for the time being.
Syndra kind of like, just kind of raspy voice. She just kind of laughs just a little bit.
She says, well, to tell you more about myself, I was an adventurer some years ago and died once and was raised from the dead. I have since closed the doors on that stage of my life, but my contacts in the Harpers have learned that the cause of the death curse is some sort of necromantic artifact that lies within the jungles of Chult through their divinations, but it gives not much more information upon that, and that is partly why you've been summoned.
So you want us to go to a jungle, go find evil necromancer and kill?
If it is a necromancer that has created this, yes, it would be best to destroy the artifact if you can locate it. But Chult is very
Okie dokie.
dangerous.
Okie dokie, so kill and break. Alright. Sounds good to me.
Perhaps a little bit more would be nice.
I would also like some more information.
Of course, I can provide you plenty of information, not necessarily of the artifact itself or its location, but I can tell you about Chult, if that's what you desire.
I want to know more about this. You said that you were resurrected. So that means that you died and you cheated and you came back and you're not supposed to do that.
The gods allow it. If it wasn't allowed, they would stop it.
That's interfering with the natural cycle of things. And just because something can be done doesn't mean that you should do it.
The turtle, that now seems to be, the more she's talked, you can tell that she is at least of the feminine persuasion. She says, she looks down at you, Winterin, and she says,
Little one, I don't think you quite understand the gods as much as you believe. I am a priest.
Oh, I never said I thought I knew the gods. I just say that it doesn't seem like nature should do that because, I mean, that's not what happens. Not naturally.
But just a minute ago, you did same thing with flowers downstairs. You took
No, I
flowers that was
just
dead and
revived
made
its
more
bloom.
alive flowers.
No, I just made it healthier. It wasn't already dead.
No,
was just sick.
Involved. It was
Well,
dead.
Yes.
It was just sick. There's a difference between curing sickness and, like, dying.
Yeah,
It's
some,
pretty final. But that's
some
final.
people
That's final.
think
But
death
no,
is
they
like
can
sickness.
they're kind of watching you as y'all are speaking. The turtle, she says,
I suppose.
she says, I am a priestess of Aknavor, the great guide. So I have some experience in this. For those whose time it is not to die, it is perfectly acceptable that they've been brought back from the dead.
What would I need to know if I know of that god, or is it common enough that I just would?
let's see, did you know anything about the turtles? I'll still let you roll a religion check.
Religion? Okay.
Yeah. If you want to know who Omnivore is.
Yes, I do. Just normal.
You've never heard of this particular pantheon or deity.
Listen to the wise turtle, Winterin. Listen. This turtle is very
Omnivore.
wise.
Omnivore, is that what you said? I don't know this god. Who is this god?
Akhnavor, the great god. She's a goddess of, or he, actually, is a god of death and the grave, god of judgment, the guide to the afterlife. Similar to what you around here might know as Kalimvor.
Kind of a douche.
Winterin doesn't look real happy with this answer, and she just kind of crosses her arms. She goes, "Well, we're here to do the deed. I guess it's not up to me to decide why, but it just doesn't seem right." And she kind of doesn't really stomp her foot, but just kind of, "Oh, fine."
I
Yes,
mean,
Winterin.
we could not accept the job, and then this would never be. No one would be able to be raised from the dead ever again, and those that have been taking their lives from them. So
We can derail just a little bit.
Yeah,
I've
we could
now
just
got my
leave the
volume maxed
adventure.
out.
Okay.
I have,
Sounds good.
I have reason that I need to go. I'm hoping that maybe I'll find some answers, but it doesn't seem right.
Just listen to the wise turtle, Winterin. He's very wise, very wise.
Well, it's also not right for evil wizard or whoever to be not letting people live.
Nali Kashaga looks at the bunch of you and she says,
It is Sindra that you will want to listen to. She knows much more about the goings-on in Schult currently. I've been out of there for quite some time. I'm actually a refugee here. She rescued me a long time ago during her adventuring career. My particular temple was overrun by a warlord of Schult, a Yuan Ti warlord named Raznasi.
That's a mouthful.
It's a simple name.
That's interesting.
Side note,
why
my
did-
notebook got left? So somebody
Excuse
please
me?
take these notes. I can't.
Why was this man? I guess you said warlord, but what else?
He's a Yuan Ti, people of the snake, an abomination. He's been in Schult for quite some time. At one point, he even raised an army of undead. He is a necromancer, and they now run ravenous among the jungles of Schult in certain areas. But he has fallen away from his necromantic path only slightly to ally with some sort of cult down there.
A cult and choke.
Yes.
Interesting.
Terrible. He's a terrible person. He murdered many
I'm
of my
sure,
kind.
yes.
Is there an empty chair there by Sinistray, however you say her name?
yeah, there's her desk is sitting there, or she's like sitting there in just this big high back chair. There's a desk behind her, but she's actually facing towards you next to a large like fireplace that's got a fire lit. She seems to be trying to warm herself, I guess you.
Okay, is there a chair that's there by the fire by her?
Yeah, they're all over the place.
Okay.
Like, I will allow y'all to make small scenery changes if you want to, for sake of story.
Okay. Wondering at this as the turtle's talking about his stuff. I know you said turtle, but yeah, turtle. She kind of stomps over and sits down and plops down into the chair, wiggles up, and she's sitting there with her chin on her hands, just kind of looking at Sinistray. She's not like doing anything. She's just sitting there, but she's very intently staring at her.
Is there something you wish to ask me, child?
Do you still feel things?
Not like I once did. Since the curse has taken hold of me, food doesn't taste right, drink doesn't taste right. I can't stay warm. I am slowly dying from the inside out, or
And she like peels back her robe and shows you this rotted flesh. It looks like it's working her way up her arm, and then a little bit further up, it looks like it's like pristine, like alabaster flesh. It's just like slowly working its way up, like you can actually visibly see it. Occasionally, like a portion of her skin will begin to rot away. She says, "This curse is terrible, and this is why I've summoned you here. You are capable adventurers. I have heard such from my Harper contacts."
The Harpers, you say? I have an herbalism kit. I could have a look at that if you wanted. I don't know that I could do anything, but I could try,
Hush,
I guess.
Child. If if Nali can do nothing for me, it is 100% guaranteed you cannot. The only thing that can be done is to destroy this artifact, find what is causing this curse in Cholt.
So where do you think we should start?
I have no suggestions as to where to start, but when you're ready to depart, I will teleport us all to Port Nyanzaru, the only major settlement in Cholt. I've been there several times before, so there's little chance of mishap. Once there, I'll stay with a friend named Wakanga Otamu. He's one of the 7 merchant princes who rule the city.
So you're
You
coming
stay with him.
with us.
Yes, I will be staying in Port Nyanzaru, just so that I can be near the goings-on.
Sure.
Do you have any desire? I can tell you more about Cholt. I'm sure you don't know much.
What kind of
would-
things should we take? Oh, sorry.
Instead of talking about things we can take, let's talk about things that are already there. In the case of, you said there are dead people running around. Is there any other terrible, horrifying things?
Well,
Like monsters crawling around in the trees?
Cholt is a peninsula ringed with mountains and choked with rainforests. Enormous reptiles and savage goblins, unlike yourself, within the rainforests. An army of undead prowlers jungles and ruins due to Raznasi's previous army that has escaped his power. Mapping the place has always been nigh impossible, and nothing is known about the region's current geography beyond a few miles from the coast. Dinosaurs. Have you heard of them?
In books?
What?
Wintering's eyes get big. Dinosaurs?
I read about them. My father read them to me
They
when I was
are.
a child.
They
So
are.
I'm assuming we're
assuredly-
going to get paid really well.
But of course, I can guarantee that once we get to Part 9 Zaru, I can offer you each 50 gold pieces for any expenses of travel. And if you succeed, I will also offer you a portion of my own collection, a magical item of sorts, powerful or not powerful, depending upon your choice. And in doing so, I can guarantee that you will become as wealthy as kings by the time you are finished. The Cholton Peninsula is littered with ancient treasures and lost civilizations.
Whoa.
And
It sounds
ancient
like a real
magic.
fun time.
I can do a lot with that.
Banu turns to look at the dragon form. You have a strange definition of fun.
Well, it's more fun than sitting around in parlor eating cheese.
I
Hey.
enjoy
Cheese is
cheese.
good. But you know
Okay.
what? I bet I could find some new plants there that I've never seen before. I've never been to a jungle or forest like that before.
Plants might kill you.
Or eat you. And then kill you.
That is
Oh,
true.
do not worry, little one. If plant tries to eat you, I kill. And then we
Wait.
eat.
In addition to these particular threats, probably the worst threat of them all, the weather. It is scorching hot at almost all times and always raining for the most part. Tropical storms pound through this area very often. I can provide you
Ooh,
with
sounds
a...
like a nice change from cold weather I'm used to.
Oh, then you'll enjoy it very well.
It's like a vacation for Heskin.
She kind of like tries to motion back behind her. She's like, "Ugh."
Behind me, you see all these maps. Working from dozens of sea charts and logbooks and explorers' journals that I have collected over the years, I've assembled everything known about the current state of Chult into one map. I'll provide it to you if you agree to undertake my mission. But do not let this map fall into the wrong hands. There are many who are searching for this artifact, and some are dangerous and would use it to destroy or control much of this world. It will fall into darkness if it gets in the wrong hands.
All that from a map?
The map will give you what little bit I know to help you begin navigating Chult. But the map itself is the only one of its kind. There are no other maps like it. It shows the most mapped areas of Chult in existence.
I will guard it with my life.
she kind of like,
Better or worse than guarding the plant?
Plant? What is this plant you speak of?
You have a plant down there I
Winter
really
hops
like.
up
Can I have
and
it?
runs out to the door and goes and gets the plant.
she looks at Marmor and she says,
I have many plants in my establishment here. Which one do you speak of?
Wintering comes waddling in with this pot that's like there, and she plops it down. She said, "It was a little bit sick, but I helped to make it feel better. And Mormon really likes it because he doesn't like the city, but he likes the plants, and they were giving him comfort. So I made sure it was pretty, and he grew really attached to it. And can we please have the plant?"
I really wish I had some of your energy, little one.
Well, I don't know that it's so much energy. It's just that I always have a lot of thoughts going at the same time. So I have to say it really, really fast so that I make sure not to get sidetracked.
Well, I guess the main question is here, are you in on this plan? Now, take into account, I will pay you this 50 gold pieces. If you succeed, if you survive the jungle, you will be as rich as kings or queens. But it will also help not just me. There are many in this world along the Sword Coast currently suffering their fate. People that do not deserve to die. People whose time it is not. There is just so much pain and suffering coming from this curse.
I believe as a salesman, you have convinced me, and I'm can't speak for the others, but I will help.
The only reason I'm here is because of the curse. So, yes, I'll do it. When we're done, can you send me home? I can't really get back. It's months, maybe years of travel. Can you just, send me back?
When this is finished, I can promise you that I can get you home. If that is all you request in payment.
Oh, no, not all I request, but part of it.
Well then, consider it done, as long as you can get the deed done and save my life.
So that
So
seems pretty fair.
we
We'll all
only
get
get
paid, and you'll get us all home.
we only get paid if we finish before you die.
You will obtain 50 gold pieces when we get to Port Nyanzaru. I will give you the map. You will get paid anything beyond that in what you find. I seek no treasure. That point in my life is far behind me. I just want you to destroy whatever this artifact is. Some people are calling it the Soulmonger. You will be
Sure.
rich beyond your wildest dreams. More than likely within
Dream
the
pretty
first.
good.
You better dream harder.
50 gold is good start.
It definitely buys a healing potion.
It's
I have
true.
a feeling we might need those.
Now, some of you I have had the pleasure of briefly meeting before this happened. Would you care to introduce yourselves to me? Some of those names, it's been so long, I had to use my particular contacts to find you anyway.
Of course, I am called Coleman, though most just shorten that to Cole.
Sticks
Hello.
her finger up to her lip.
You are very quiet.
Perhaps I just don't have a lot to say.
Sure, you have plenty.
Never hold back, Coleman. Life is too short.
I'll take that under advisement.
You know, I've been with you for like a week and a half, and I didn't know your whole name was Coleman.
I forget that people don't know that, and usually everybody just winds up calling me Cole anyways, so.
Hmm.
Well, the rest of you. Little one, I can't. My thoughts escape me.
Well, that's pretty terrifying. I'd hate to have my thoughts escape me. But anywho, I do know what it is for him to run away. But no, my name is Winterin, and this is my friend Mormon, or Marmon?
Norman?
Mar. I just call him
Marmon.
Mar. I just call him Mar. But anywho, we got the summons from their
Marmon.
circle, and so we came here, and I guess we'll go do this. I mean, I'm kind of excited because there'll be new plants and animals and that kind of thing. But really, that's my thing is I'm looking for plants and animals, and I want to find the ladies of the Golden Hills. I think they're out there somewhere, and I've never been to Choltz, so maybe they're there.
You're the agent of the Emerald Enclave. That's right, I remember you now.
Winterin looks around like at who all's around, and she goes, "Shh! You're not supposed to say that like that. I mean, she'll just throw it out there."
We're not out amongst the city. You're amongst a small group of people whom you will probably get to know very well in a very short amount of time.
My name is Banu. You know me now. It's fine.
Banu from
Hello,
Zakara.
Banu.
Fine. That's me.
And I guess that leaves Heskin. Hello, I am Heskin. I come a long way from north. It's very warm here. I am looking forward to working with all of you to stop the bad guy.
You're a
Hello.
very strapping young lad. You look like you can handle yourself.
I can handle myself. I can handle other people. Whoever.
Please,
Whoever
please,
needs handling.
please don't handle me.
I can handle myself, thank you.
You can
Well.
handle the plant.
That's funny.
So, if you would like, we can go ahead and get this show on the road. Otherwise, we can stay here in Baldur's Gate for a couple of days and prepare yourselves here.
Well, I mean,
It's up
what's
to
there to
you.
prepare? What kind of things should we take? I've never been anywhere like this.
Hot.
I strongly vote for leaving as soon as possible.
I also agree with that. I'm used to the heat. I'm from a desert, but it's a dry heat. So this may be terrible.
It will be.
Nali, the turtle that's still standing to the back, kind of just like she's got her arms crossed. A couple times she shifted during this particular conversation and turned to look at like one of the maps and stuff such as that. She's even walked over and gathered this like really intricate, nice, looks like a scroll case, but it's clearly carrying a very large map. As she moves and turns, you do notice that the shell that's on her back, it looks like cracked, like it's been shattered almost before. And there are like almost like obsidian or onyx, some sort of black material that has like bound this shell back together where the cracks formed. And the shield that she has on her back actually seems to be like a hunk of missing shell. And just beneath it, occasionally you can catch glances. It looks like that entire hunk of missing shell that is beneath the shield is actually formed of that same black material. The shield has on one hand, like on the shield itself, you see like half of like a draconic type hand, and it's holding one half of a scale on one side, and the rest of her shell has like the other half of this particular motif that's like etched into the shell itself. So it looks
Very
like
cool.
together it looks like a hand holding, like a draconic hand holding two, like a scale of sorts. She turns around with the scroll case, which is probably about 3.5, maybe 4 feet long. It's pretty big. And it seems to be really nicely made leather. You can tell just from a glance that it's not your average map case of sorts. It seems to be very well protected from the weather. And she hands it over to Syndra, and Syndra takes it in her delicate little hands and kind of holds it close. She says, "Well, if you're ready to get going, follow me into the antechamber." And she begins to kind of stand up with the help of Nali.
Guess I follow her.
Mhm.
Does everybody have water?
Are we going on a boat?
Yes,
Are we going?
Something much
Teleportation.
quicker. Teleportation. I was a wizard in my adventuring days. Some might call me an archmage.
Huh.
Oh,
All right.
I immediately look around for spell books. Like just like. Yeah, man.
You see no spell books. Everything in the room seems to be all dealing with like geographic study and such.
All chult based.
Yeah, not just Chult based. I mean, you notice like these maps, like one of the maps is this huge like Faerunian map. It shows every bit of the Sword Coast and on further towards the east, and it even shows like the edges of some land to the west that are marked in some strange runes of sorts. It doesn't look like the average. If anybody speaks Draconic, you could tell what they say.
I do.
You can see on one of the parts of the map, it actually says Zakara in Draconic. Then you see like Shunlu, Faerun, and then some words that are just kind of cut off, where you see just like an A, almost, or what would be an A in Draconic tongue. So it's a pretty comprehensive map of the world itself. Just missing a few bits and pieces. Seems like something she's been working on for a long time.
I look to see if my village is on the map, and I get disappointed when it's not.
So, but you do notice that Syndra, she's dressed in, like I say, she's got like these really fine silken robes of sorts that cover her entire body. She has like a small satchel at her side, and then on that belt, there's a kind of a belt around her waist. What's around her belt it looks like small pockets of sorts all the way around. Like it's very well made, dark brown leather. Like she doesn't seem to wear any jewelry aside from that face mask. Like every bit of her body right now is pretty much covered because she seems to be ashamed or unwilling to show the weakness that the death curse has actually caused to the public eye. She's very well to do. So she wants to keep that image, but people are like, she's kind of gotten estranged over the past little while. And she leads you into a room along with Navi, and this room seems to have like a large circle with all sorts of arcane runes, like all around the room itself, and on the walls. The ceiling has like almost like glowing crystal chandeliers, like type deals that kind of like stick down from the ceiling and kind of pulsate with magical power. And she says, "If you don't have anything else to do here, we're off to Port Nine Zaru." She
Yes,
looks
let's
around the
go.
room. All right.
Sounds good to me, team. And then Heskin puts his hand in the middle, like
She-
puts it low for the goblin and the gnome.
I don't put my hand in the middle.
Banu puts his hand in the middle.
Marmor looks at his hand and does it.
Marmot, did you get the plant?
Oh, the plant. Like runs and attempts to go get the plant. Attempts to go get the plant.
Neither one of them
I'm
try to
work-
stop you.
I'm worried about this.
Comes back with the plant like strapped to him somehow. I'm just like, all right, I'm ready. Let's go.
Plant is the only one that's going to survive this.
Yes.
I have good feeling about Trip.
Oh.
All right, so she, you notice that as once she gets to the center and y'all have kind of settled yourselves in, she snaps her hand, like much quicker than what her frail form would show. Like she almost seems to kind of grit through the pain, and all of a sudden this like energy forms out from her hand, and it coalesces into this like purple shard of a staff made of what looks to be like amethyst, covered in all these strange glowing runes. Some of them like emanate like a black hazy energy, others emanate like this really light blue almost angelic halo. And she begins to chant in this voice. She's and she just jams it down in the center of this freaking teleportation, and all of a sudden your senses just like they go crazy. It's almost like you were put in a blender and twirled around just for what seems like an eternity. It's terrible. You're everybody needs to give me a Constitution save, as all of a sudden this bright light just envelops you, and you all of a sudden regain your senses, and you're standing in some place really different.
As she
love
first
that.
brought her staff out, she would look over at Marmon and go, "Our elders do more impressive." And then as it starts to go, and she's like, "Well, maybe not."
It feels like you're stretched like Laffy Taffy all around and then ground up, and it's just it's an
me and
intense
Marmon are
feel.
puking on each other. Yeah.
You appear on the other side as this bright light and intense heat kind of hits your body. You're standing in a very, very different area than you were before. Marmorn and Colm, y'all pretty much spew up what you ate and drank previously. If you didn't, you're pretty much throwing up bile at the moment. But after about 10 or 15 seconds, you slowly start to feel better. Your stomach's not as queasy, and you feel like yourself again. And when you open your eyes, and all the rest of everybody, you're standing in what appears to be a tropical city under a blazing sun. It's lightly raining right now. The familiar sounds of a harbor, creaking ropes, slapping waves, heavy barrels rolling across cobblestones, mingling with voices of shouting and cursing in an unfamiliar language filled with clicks, inhalations, and sing-songy words that make it sound almost musical. The aroma of unfamiliar spices and tropical fruits mix with the wharf-side smells of fish, tar, and canvas. Beyond all that, you see Port Nyanzaru is an explosion of color. Buildings are painted in bright shades of blue, green, orange, salmon pink. Their walls are adorned with murals portraying giant reptiles and mythological heroes. Every building sports baskets and clay urns of colorful flowers, or is draped in leafy, flowery vines. Minstrels in bright clothing adorned with feathers and shells perform on street corners. Multicolored pennants and sun awnings flutter atop city walls. Crowds of children dressed in feathered hats and capes race past you, squealing in delighted terror as street performers costumed as big-toothed lizards stomp around and roar behind them. The whole city just seems to be bustling, sweating, laughing, swearing, and singing all at once as this rain is just like pattering down atop everybody.
I would be totally in awe, looking around, just taking it all in, especially if I see any kind of plants that I've never seen before or animals that I've never seen before. And the whole time I'd be sitting there patting Mormon on the arm, going, look, oh my God, look at that. Just like total tourist thing.
As you say that, a bipedal creature covered in like what looks like armored scales, almost like a big turtle almost, with spikes on its back and a really large knobby tail and like a short-necked head with some horns on his head. It seems to be painted like orange and red and just these really bright, vibrant purple colors and stuff. It just comes walking by with a person standing on the back of it and a large cart full of fruits and such being hauled behind it.
Whoa!
I've never seen such things.
Oh, my stomach.
Sinistra,
So,
what is that?
it was fun ride. Can we do again?
No, please,
Oh wait,
God.
no. We have job to do first.
Only when it's time. And little one, Winterin, that is a Ankylosaurus. One of the many dinosaurs you will encounter around these parts.
Winterin looks down at her ankles and she goes, looks at it and back and forth. Are you sure that's the name?
If my memory serves, but then again, and she looks over at Nolly, and Nolly says, yes, mistress, it is an Ankylosaurus. Don't let the little one try to fool you, even though she turns upside down on the video.
I don't
was
know why it
wondering-
keeps flipping.
I was wondering if that was just me seeing that.
No, I think it's because it's like the phone's
The phone,
flip
yeah.
thing. Yeah. Sorry.
She's just going through the teleport.
Magic. Moving on.
Syndra looks at you, and then she looks over at Nolly, and Nolly, she shakes her, she kind of gives a nod, and Nolly pulls a pouch out from her side, and it's like it's not just a pouch, it's like a bag. And you can hear it jingling with coin. She hands it over to you, whoever's the first to reach out. Of course, it'd be the goblin.
I was gonna say I'm pretty close to first.
Oh, what,
We
who
can
wants to
hear
reach
you.
first?
I think they both should.
Make a, I don't know, just a dexterity check to see who's fastest.
Just a dexterity check.
Yeah, just a regular dex check.
How do I roll a dex check? Oh, there it is.
Yep, there's a dex save and a dex check.
Ugh.
Whoa, my
Banu, we cannot
god.
hear you.
Oh,
Banu, we
Banu's
cannot hear you.
muted. Banu's muted.
Banu just like, just snatches it out of her hand. Nolly's like,
Greedy little one, aren't you? That is the agreed amount for your initial provisions.
Whoops.
That is 50 gold pieces per head in that bag. So you make sure you split it evenly. It has been counted multiple times by myself.
Everybody get your share.
So I imagine it's a big bag, and little goblin just grabs it.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Winterin looks around. She goes, I may not be from the city or anything, but I don't know that it'd be, wise to do that right here in the middle of everything. Why don't we go somewhere
They're
first?
not
and
going
then
to
we can split
touch
it
us.
up?
Trust me, we'll be fine.
I would
I
like
don't
you.
Act
know.
like you
We've never
belong.
been. I
Stop
don't know these
gaping.
people. They might be mean people. We should probably not do an open.
As long as you don't look like a victim, you won't be a victim. Unless you get really unlucky. And then you'll just, it was gonna happen anyway.
Nolly chuckles a
There's a
little
lot
bit at y'all's little exchange, and Syndra kind of chimes in. She says,
Things probably haven't changed in the past couple months here, but this is a very low crime city. The law is very stringent here, and there's very little to no corruption within this government. This is unlike any place along the Sword Coast.
That sounds quite impressive.
It sounds slightly depressing.
It's a paradise. You see why I like to come here, and if I'm going to spend my last days on this planet, it's going to be in a place that I love.
Again,
This is
it's a
not a
good
paradise.
vacation spot.
This is not a paradise. You see all these big buildings. It's not good. Don't like any of this. On this hustle and bustle.
now you're looking at this hustle and bustle, but beyond the
I
city,
grab Marn and I turn him toward the jungle.
yeah, you can
Look
see
out
a
there for it.
huge just swath of jungle. It is the epitome of wild. This is just one
Yes.
single bastion of civilization sitting in the middle of this enormous expanse of wilderness.
You
Do
just
not
see him.
worry, friend. Soon we will be in there and we may die, or we may not. But who knows?
Just breathe. Now that's paradise over there. You see that? Look at all the trees. It's great. It's great. Nature.
They did a pretty good job at bringing nature in, and she points to all like the potted plants and the little green spots in the lawn.
Speaking of plants, is your potted plant going to survive in this new climate?
Did it survive the teleportation?
Oh, I didn't roll a Constitution save for it. It's throwing up right now. No, it's good. The potted plant is still in his hand, and he somehow managed to keep it from falling out as he was just puking his guts up.
I had it tied to me, yeah. But
Banu is now has now
Emotionally
everybody-
invested in this plant.
Yes, but also has everybody's money in their own little bags now. He's managed to sort it while talking.
Do you want to do that
Wow.
while they're not paying attention? Like, are you trying to do that?
No, I'm not trying to steal everybody. I'm playing to you. Like sitting there talking, I'm just like ding 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 ding. ding.
All right.
My
Sindra,
family is money changers.
You are very fast with your hands, little one. I don't know if this is good or not.
Sindra does look at the group of y'all, and she says, I will be staying with my friend Wakanga Otamu. I recommend that you secure rooms for yourselves at either the Thundering Lizard, if you're looking for a more raucous time. Thank you, Booty Blenda, for the follow. For a more raucous time, you can visit the Thundering Lizard and find yourself a place there. Or Kaya's House of Repose if you want more of a good night's sleep. Both of them are
I
located in
vote
the
for the
Red Bazaar.
repose.
I do not know what a raucous is, but I am fan of sleeping, so
She
completely
is
oblivious to what you're talking about.
she's still holding this like scroll or this map case next to her or close to her, and she looks at y'all and somebody give me I don't know. Just give me a general persuasion. Everybody give me a persuasion check. Just from looking amongst the group, she's trying to figure out who
Right.
looks the most trustworthy out of everybody.
This is gonna be a great game.
Merman, with his plant, is clearly the most trustworthy of everyone. The plant will keep your secrets.
I will guard it with my life.
That's just what he says to everything.
Winterin'?
I gave him a drink earlier and he said he'd guard it with his life.
Winterin', have you rolled a persuasion yet?
Nope.
Yeah, you didn't see it?
No, I see.
It
I
didn't go
see
through.
cold,
Yeah, you didn't roll.
She
marmorn.
chooses not to be persuaded, or not to persuade.
Did it not? Oh,
Yeah, you
he
did
rolled at the
wrong.
same time. It didn't go through. Hold on.
Okay.
Because I totally clicked it. Try again. There it goes. Boom.
Okay, so her glance, she kind of glances through the group of y'all, and then her eyes kind of go to Winterin, and then she looks over at Marmorn with like, you can just see her eyes barely from behind this silver mask, and she slowly holds the map case out to Marmorn. She says, "This is extremely valuable and extremely detrimental in the wrong hands. Protect it with your life, Marmorn."
I will guard it with my life. He grabs it, puts it in his back, or like holds it or whatever.
It probably sticks out of your bag a little bit. It's pretty long. Like I say, it's about 3.5, 4 feet long, and it's like a tube that's probably about 6 inches in diameter, maybe I'd say 4 inches in diameter.
It's almost as big as I am.
She looks at Winterin and she says,
looking at it like,
she says to Winterin, she says, "I would have given it to you, but you're a little small to be carrying such a big, map. You've already got all that stuff on your back."
that's a very impressive map. It is quite large. I don't get me wrong. It's beautiful. I'd love to have it, but I don't want to carry that.
All right. She does let you know. She says, if at any point in time in the next day or two before you leave out, or as you're doing some investigation around here, I imagine, feel free to come by and visit Wakanga Otamu. You can ask anybody. They'll know where his abode is.
He's one of the merchant princes here. He's extremely well known.
Very
All right.
All right. And she looks at Nali. Nali says, "You ready, mistress?"
Well, yes. Let's go see how our old friend's doing.
And they kind of bid you farewell and begin to walk off.
Thank you for the trip.
We'll see you later.
Masalam,
I-
Sindra.
I hope we are successful and you do not die.
Okay, now just to give y'all an idea.
Don't die.
Yeah, I hope we don't die first.
Well, obviously, that goes without saying, but
I say it anyway.
Yeah, I
nice
think it's
lady willing to pay.
very important.
All right, so what exactly is everybody wearing?
I am
on
wearing
an
it.
explorer's outfit.
Okay. Like, are
I'm
these
wearing-
heavy clothes?
I'm wearing my leather armor.
All right.
I'm wearing my light clothes. My cape is the heaviest thing about everything I'm wearing. Like, it's desert wear. So it might not be great for a jungle.
Well, right now
You know,
it
it's
is.
kind of hot here.
Right
I've
now
got traveler's clothes on.
you are Coleman.
Robes.
Robes, okay. And okay, so right now, currently, it's just a little bit of precipitation. It's kind of like a really light, hazy, misty rain, but it is 104 degrees Fahrenheit outside right now where you're at. It is extremely hot. The sun is beating down through this rain, and the humidity itself is just 120%. It's crazy. It's very warm there. That is probably going to be the defining feature of Chult for most, is the fact of how hot and rainy it is on almost all times. It is almost
Is there
unbearable.
any store or location where we can buy jungle appropriate clothing?
There are plenty of stores in this particular place. There is a market, a merchant's ward for the most part. There they have, well, I mean, you'd have to find out. You could ask around, but there are plenty of places that you could find more appropriate gear if you're wearing stuff that you would deem too hot. I mean, it can get pretty sweltering here, and the environment itself is just as deadly as the dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I ever said it, but Winrin's hair, if you've ever seen like the Northern troll dolls, you know how their hair just goes like poof, like that? That's her hair in like shades of greens and yellow. So it literally looks like a flower bloom. So I'm imagining in this heat, that stuff is just like kind of wilted down. So now it kind of looks like Sonic, you know? And yeah, so we definitely need to find somewhere that's cooler. And she's kind of shifting around. This stuff's a little warm.
All right. What are you using your prestidigitation for, Coleman?
I meant to click to see if I just to read it. I didn't mean to actually cast it.
Oh, okay.
Sorry
All
about
right. That's fine. Don't worry.
I hit the wrong button. I hit the name instead of the little gear wheel.
So for the most part, y'all can like make like if you're wanting to try to find someplace right now to go ahead and buy more appropriate clothing, you could make an investigation check and ask around to citizens and such that are walking around.
Let's see how much Roll20 hates me.
Good.
Hey!
Whoa. You know where all this
He's just so hot. He said, "Oh my god, come on, we gotta find something."
My echolocation goes off and I know where all the stores are.
All right, so as y'all are walking generally in the direction that Sindra had pointed out, which was the area of the Red Bazaar, you notice that lots of flowers and green plants and vines seem to grow everywhere. They're springing out from building stones themselves. It's a profusion of greenery needing constant tending. You see people kind of like trimming the hedges essentially from where all this overgrowth constantly happens here. And you approach this one particular gentleman. And he's probably in his 30s or something. And he turns around and he's like, "Well, yes, can I help you?"
Well, you can see that we are all dressed inappropriately, and we were hoping you could help us dress appropriately.
Newcomers to Port Nanzaru?
Something like that.
Well,
Exactly like that.
Shh.
well, if you're looking to purchase clothing for the most part, you can head down towards the merchant's ward. It's over, and he kind of points off in the direction down the street. He says you can make your way to the Grand Souk. It's one of the 3 beating hearts of Port Nanzaru. You could also go to the Red Bazaar. Those are probably going to be your 2 best places to find appropriate attire.
Do
Beating
you
hearts.
recommend one over the other?
The Grand Souk is it's more costly, but you definitely get quality. The Red Bazaar, it's essentially, I mean, you can buy whatever you need there for a decent price, but it's nowhere near the quality of
A quality
would
one.
You can find wondrous jungle attire in those areas.
I'm going to the quality.
I'm
I
going to the
will-
Grand Zouk.
Yeah.
Are there
Go on.
any merchants who sell leather and hides? I prefer to make my own clothes. Not a lot of people sell in my size.
1 second, let me find the guy's name.
I'm assuming I can make something like a loincloth, a rain slicker, like a hat, with, like leather workers' tools.
Loincloths.
It's just one track.
I'm a barbarian. I don't need clothes.
Ill-fitting. This ill-fitting loincloth.
If you're looking for what we would say traveling gear and clothing, you make your way to either the Grand Souk or Red Bazaar, and there you will find the merchant prince, Akini Afa. She's one of our merchant princesses for the most part. She has some of the finest wares to offer. You can buy weapons, shields, clothing. For purposes of purchasing outright hide to make your own, you can definitely find that as well. Zanti is another one of our merchant princes who holds sway over gems, jewelry, cloth, and armor.
Very good, very good.
I'm sure you will find what you want in either. It's essentially just an enormous marketplace. Just one's a little higher quality than the other, and depending on what wares you want to buy, each merchant prince particularly holds what you would call a monopoly over particular goods. That is how our city runs.
All right.
Seems
Well-
efficient.
Oh, we are quite efficient. You look around, he points around, you see the rain that's kind of coming down. There's rain gutters and stuff, and there's all sorts of what looks like hydro propelled deals, types of machinery and gears and works that funnel this particular water down into giant cisterns and such. It seems, for being in a jungle peninsula, it seems pretty technologically advanced in purposes of hydro technology. This particular city is all about survival in some of the worst parts of the world, so there's a lot of efficiency in here.
Welcome back, Reen.
Where I'm from, it rains like this maybe once a year.
If you're lucky.
But it's barely raining.
It rains like this once a year.
That's why they call it a desert, friend.
Oh yes, yes, of course.
I'm going to the high quality place.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, so y'all are...
I would like to purchase from the highest quality.
Will you be getting your plant a suit?
Maybe some protective cloths, maybe. I don't know.
An umbrella hat.
It's too
I
hot
will
for
make
my
a little
plant.
hat.
You must
I
not
like-
have been here for long, have you?
Martini glass umbrella.
No, we just arrived. Just arrived.
Fell right off the
Whoa.
turnip truck.
I have no idea why, but for some reason my laptop just switched to airplane mode.
Airplane mode. I see
Yeah,
something.
But you're not on an airplane.
What is an airplane? Sorry.
Also, Reed's camera looks like it's having a-
Yeah, it did something weird.
Looks like she's still
For some
going through
reason,
the
I don't know
teleportation circle.
Yeah, for some reason I only have Nick on my screen now instead of everybody.
I
All
see
this stuff is
everybody but you.
breaking.
Everybody but you is on my screen right now.
Always. Oh, yeah, it's gone. Oh, it looks like it's really
Yeah, I
close
turned
to
it off
something
and
and,
back on.
and unfocused is what it looks like. Like you might have it on the wrong camera, like the rear-facing camera, maybe.
There
There
you
it
are.
is.
Yeah.
Dun dun dun
I'm
dun.
still only able to see Nick. I don't know what I did that minimized everybody.
Well, it's
It's
as
like
long as they can see you.
doesn't
Yeah.
matter. Yeah.
Yeah, we can see you. I can see them.
I'm
Everybody
just-
else can see them.
I'm gonna get that back. So that I can get off of airplane mode.
You're using your phone though for your video, right?
Yes, but I went to plug my phone in to the laptop because it was dying, and then it like went airplane mode.
Oh my.
Game on. Continue.
Okay.
So we're going to fancy place.
Going to the
Fancy
Red
place.
Bazaar.
Yes.
No, I thought it was the other one.
Oh yeah, y'all are going to the oh god, the Grand Souk.
Yeah.
The one I don't know how to spell.
Souk.
Souk.
Ah, okay.
Souk.
Grand Souk equals
Complet.
fancy place.
Good note taking. Good note taking.
Yeah. You have to be concise. To the point.
Being concise and to the point, and then I had to relocate.
Alright, so fancy people have leather I can buy?
Leather
Is that
will
what
be
it was?
hot.
Well, you can get thin leather. I just need like a loincloth, basically like a poncho and then a hat.
Yeah, you'll be able to buy that kind of stuff there. It's like I said, cloth of any sort, gems, jewelry, and armor is sold or is expressly under the authority of Xanti, the one of the merchant princes.
Would I reasonably be able to make some simple clothing from cloth, even though I'm not proficient with like sewing? I'm more proficient with like leatherworking.
I mean, the cloth is going to be part of like leather and stuff. You're probably going to come across like dinosaur hide leather and stuff. So you could.
Okay.
It's going to take a little bit of time.
Well, yeah, like I said, guy. Not a lot of people sell stuff in his size. Likes to make his own stuff.
Yeah.
Also, is cheaper.
Why did everybody pause on screen? I don't know. That was weird. Had a
What do I
minor
do with the fancy people?
glitch. Okay, so you're making your way to the Grand Souk, which is in the Merchant's Ward. As you're making your way through this city, as I said before, it's extremely hot. The city itself seems to be very old. There are like crumbling ancient buildings in certain parts of the city that you walk by. They seem to be covered with vines and lichens. Or lichens, however you like to pronounce that. Walls divide the city into districts, and open archways above the streets are painted with murals of dinosaurs, mountains, and mythic heroes. It's a very beautiful city, very hustly bustly, very hot. But you eventually make your way after getting the directions from that from the nameless NPC to the Merchant's Ward, where you find the Grand Souk. Let's see. So it seems that when you enter the Grand Souk, what it looks like to you. Let me see if I can get y'all over to a picture of this city. Yes. Hold on one second.
So basically, he was pretty much just villager one,
Dun dun dun.
right? Guys, I got my
Ooh.
SAG card. I played villager one.
Pretty.
I thought I could pop out my character sheet.
You can.
Okay, so the Grand Souk itself. Let's see, where's it at? Okay, number 6 here. This in what looks like a huge like tent-like deal that just is beneath a large bridge. For the most part, it's almost in the central part of the city, which is where the Merchant Lord is actually located. When you walk in, this place it's noisy, jostling. It's an aroma-rich circus of just all. Your senses are just assailed in all directions when you come into this place. There are people moving about, elbow to elbow, like bumping against you. It seems to be part of the everyday life. Guards are numerous in this area, just looking about. They're kind of watching some people, and occasionally you'll hear like a guard call out, and you'll see them take off running, and like a little child take off running away from them. So even with Syndra's foretellings of the city being pretty straightforward and lawful, there are still instances of pickpocketry and urchins that live in worse parts of the city that live off of what they can scrape by in large places like this that are populated with so many people. Let's see.
Marmorn, like seeing this, like clus the thing, like the map or whatever, so close to him, like with both hands, just like, ugh, no one's taking this. I'm guarding it with my life.
So you're making a display of it.
I step very close behind Hershan.
Like I'm
Heskin?
like walking like this.
Heskin, and like to try and use him as like a windbreak or like a surf break to like so he can like punch through people, and I like ride in his wake, so I have to touch as few people as possible.
I'm the cow catcher. I'm just
Pretty much.
Winterin and Banu seem to navigate this pretty well due to their small forms, and even though there's a lot of people, they're kind of easy to kind of like dart in and out of certain areas. But they almost kind of get lost in the crowd.
This is a normal size.
What's that?
This is a normal size city for Banu. He's used to it. He's just.
Yeah. Oh, there goes Winterin again. What are you doing?
It's still trying to load the roll 20.
Oh, Lord. All right.
Yeah.
Well, we'll continue on with it, and hopefully it'll catch up to us so we don't lose much more stream time right now. But just
no,
walking
keep
through
going.
this place, you can see that people come here to buy timbers, spices, medicines, jungle plants, dinosaur skulls, all kinds of stuff. I mean, there's like colorful feathered outfits, which seems to be one of the mainstays of what people wear around here. It seems like a very I'm not going to say savage, but much more tribal than what you're used to seeing in Baldur's Gate and places such as that. Most people up there, they wear really nicely tailored clothes. Well, these are tailored from what they can get off of the land and the creatures there. So there's lots of brightly colored, feathery garbs. Really light for the most part, though. It'd be like you might see like a kilt of sorts made of feathers and a little bit of like dinosaur hide and such. Very sandal-like shoes. There's not many boots and stuff that you see for sale there, so a lot of it is really light material. And you just hear people barking from corner to corner. Come! See our armors. We have some of the nicest armors in all of Port Nyanzaru. Others is, come, we have some of the greatest. And they're just trying to hawk their wares, essentially. I mean, anything you could want would be in this place. It's huge and has everything.
Winterin would be looking all around and just going crazy. And, did you see her outfit? She looked just like a bird. Oh, it's the feathers. Do I get to wear feathers? Are we going to dress like that when we go into the woods? I mean, it seems kind of, a little bit unpractical to have the feathers because you couldn't really hold anything and they might get in the way. And then, too, one of the creatures might think that you're dinner and try and get you. But, the feathers are really pretty. And, oh, did you see that flower?
Pretty sure all the creatures are gonna think we're dinner no matter what.
Do you think so? But I don't think I'd be very tasty. But I don't know. I mean, some things to eat. And she just continues this constant thing of chatter, just, pointing out every little thing that she sees and that's there. And she would be taking particular note of any kind of plants that she's never seen before.
Tons of those.
Are there any weapons, or is it just armor?
Right.
Oh, they do sell weapons. You occasionally will see like a vendor hawking some sort of weaponry. Most of them some look crudely made, some look really well made, and there are like, one person is looking at this particular spear of sorts. It's not like a normal spear. It's actually a special type of spear that is found only here in Schult. It's kind of like it's more of a common weapon in Schult than anything else. It's called a Ikla, and if I can find you the statistics for it right quick, it's essentially the same thing as a spear but one-handed only. It is throwable, and it's got a really broad head on it compared to most spears and a shorter haft. It's a simple weapon.
Would I have seen? Is there any longbows anywhere?
Oh yeah, you occasionally come across some bows and such too.
I see a longbow. I walk up, whoever's selling it, and I ask how much they want for the longbow.
Oh, an archer. You're interested in bowyer fletchery or the simple purchase of such a fine bow as these?
I really feel like I need to be in the back shooting, so I'm looking for some archery equipment.
No fear. Akini Alpha offers some of the finest wares that you can possibly find. Yeah. So, are you looking for something more of this, the short variety, long variety? Do you need ammo with it?
A longbow with ammo, yes. How much do you charge for that?
Kind of looks you up and down. Give a persuasion check first. We'll
Dun
see.
dun dun.
Oof.
Did the plant speak for you?
Somehow you insulted his mother and his mother's.
Boom, boom, boom.
Uh-oh, he's reading into the book. You know what that means.
A
Take
dragon
it.
has spawned.
Yeah, you die of the death curse. Next character.
You said longbow, did you?
Yes.
I will sell you this longbow for the low price of 60 gold pieces. That's including 20 arrows. Akini Alpha is gracious.
How about, does he have any armor? Or is he just a weapon seller? I would know.
You
this,
must
but
be
I just-
new here. So
Well, I mean, I don't.
you are clearly new here. You're an elf. We don't see many of their kind.
Yes.
If you're searching for armor, go 3 stalls down. That's one of the merchant Prince Xanti's stalls. They specialize in armor and clothing, jewelry and gems. I specifically I work under Akini Alpha, and we sell nothing more than weapons, shields, traveling gear, rain catchers, saddles, wagons, and canoes, if that is something that you're in the market for. Do you
So you
plan
said
on
six-
exploring the jungle?
Yes, we are. We are.
We have what you need.
I
I
will
can show you the way.
Oh no.
Oh, no, you didn't.
Uh,
We've never been in a jungle before. What do we need to take to the jungle?
Well, are you actually standing there with Marmorn?
Well,
Or-
I mean, that's kind of how I visualized that we'd have stuck together just because she doesn't know these other
Okay.
people. She doesn't know who they
all
are.
right.
It's probably a good idea to stick together.
He says, well, you're clearly going to want less clothing than what you have, but you definitely want to have some sort of protection and fine weaponry, such as this. And he holds up one of the eclats, like just a really nice looking spear. He says, but you're going to want rain catchers. You can't find fresh water very often there in the jungle. If you're looking to travel by river, which is the easiest way to cover longer distances, then you'd want a canoe, or at least a few for your party. And he looks about, and then he sees Banu standing there, and he has this, like, not just disgusted look on his face. Like, he's kind of disgusted, but he's more confused than anything. Like, he's like, what?
Do not worry, he is good goblin, or as good as goblin can be.
I've never seen a Batiri like you.
What?
He's pronounced goblin.
Batiri. His people are Batiri.
Goblin.
He turns around and motions to a wall behind him, and on this wall is like these huge, look like almost like tiki masks of sorts, and they have all sorts of different, like, really colorful, vibrant, like, motifs to them, but like they're all like animalistic and such. He says his people hide behind those masks.
No, I do not. I don't know what people you're talking about.
He doesn't have a mask, he has a little hat. I don't know what it's called, but
We come from a land very far away, very far.
He
Oh.
moves
Even
Milan
farther.
further.
Well, you have lots to learn, little one. Your kind around here appear nothing like you.
Well, it sounds to me like maybe you've never met his kind before. You're just making assumptions.
I'm making assumptions based on
Well, this-
what we've experienced here.
Not
Does
all.
anyone want a weapon from this man, or should we move on?
I'm good at weapons. I just need a new colorful outfit that'll help me feel good in the jungle.
I don't
How
need
much-
a weapon, but the shield could help.
How much?
How much for the rain catcher?
A rain catcher will run you. Oh, that's a specialized item.
I like to think he has this book that he's flipping through actually, and he has
Like
so
an
many
inventory
things. He has so many
stat
things. He's
Slams
like,
it on the
"Oh."
table, like. Let's see.
So tell me, how much rain does a rain catcher catch?
If a
Oh,
rain catcher could catch rain, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I got a guy. He knows everything there is to know about rain catchers. Let me call him. Come down to the shop.
What a
Maybe
guy.
15 minutes.
I watched MythBusters. All we need is a pallet of duct tape.
Right? I come from the generation that grew up with MacGyver, man. Come on.
Yeah, but MacGyver never made a rain catcher out of duct tape.
No, but have you seen the amazingness that he's created with less?
Yes.
Because I mean, think about it. Duct tape's
It was on
pretty dang
Mythbusters.
versatile.
Yeah, what's on
Yes.
MythBusters?
He begins to
Full circle.
answer Winterin after kind of like debating amongst himself and flipping through his book for prices. He says a rain catcher costs but 1 gold piece. And as he shows it to you, it seems to be like a leather tarp and a wooden frame, essentially. He kind of explains to you that it has to be stretched out. It's used to form sort of a basin. He says it'll catch 2 gallons of drinkable water per inch of rainfall and holds up to 8 gallons when folded.
I'll
How
take
much-
one.
Yeah.
Peskin just blinks like, sounds good, and looks at the group.
Yeah.
Sounds
But-
good.
Banu looks up at him. It's pretty good.
I just hear
Yeah.
numbers.
Whoever
we should
has
have a couple of them
I-
because if we have a couple of them, then we could get it, get more water faster, and then we could move on.
Well, whoever has the highest ability to carry things should carry these things. 8 gallons of water. It's a lot of goddamn water.
Everybody turns to the dragonborn.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
Well, but we don't have to hold all of that water in it. It just can't hold all of that water. We just fill up as much as we need before we go on to the next spot.
A Kenny offer is very generous. If you decide to purchase in a group order of sorts, we could offer you a discount on the entirety of your order.
Oh,
He's haggling.
discount is always nice.
Do you have jungle appropriate clothing, like some kind of poncho or? Essentially, what I'm looking for is the equivalent of Adventurers League cold weather or hot weather gear. I don't know if it has anything like that.
That would be at the next place down.
Like
said that-
jungle.
This is the
He's-
other guy.
He said the next place down, Zanti. He's the one we need to talk to about the armor.
Xanthi has armor and cloth.
Yeah, I don't need armor. I just need clothes. I can't wear armor.
I have traveling gear if that's what you were looking for. And he like shows you like some packs that come with like prepackaged clothes, unlike raw cloth, which is what Xanthi sells. Xanthi sells raw cloth and armor.
I just need an outfit that won't make me have exhaustion levels.
Well, I have what you need right here.
Speak strangely.
You look at it and it's like it's like a genuine outfit. It's like real thin, like leathery, almost like the wind blows through it really easy, and it seems like a type of fabric that would dry off. But it's also accented with like feathers or scales of sorts. There's all kinds of different versions of it. So there's like particular hides of it and everything that are made.
Does it cover how much of the body does it cover? Like, is it like a long sleeve kind of thing?
It would cover probably, well, I mean, you could buy one that covers more of the body and still offers aeration and dryness, but it's going to be more. The average outfits that you find around here are going to show off like parts of your, like from your waist up to like your ribs and a lot of your legs. Like there's not really long clothes in this area.
How much for
Getting
the
Aladdin's outfit.
how much for the long clothes version?
You need some booty shorts and a halter top.
That
So
do-
you-
That depends. Are you going to buy the rain catcher as part of a group discount? Are you going to purchase any of our insect repellents or anything such as that?
In
Yes,
Maybe do you have any prepackaged deals for adventurers like us with all these things in there, so we could just buy it together?
Like a staffix.
How much for the insect repellent and canoes and the clothes if they were longer and covered more?
Winterin would want a set of the clothes. She wouldn't really care about a canoe because she wouldn't. I don't want to have to carry that canoe through that jungle. They said it's really, really thick.
And do we know we need to go up the river, or are we going to the jungle?
We don't know where we're going, but we know we need cool
Yes.
clothes. We know that we need the rain catcher because they said that we can't, get water. And I don't know what else we do need. Is there maybe like a machete or something? Because going through, we can use our druidcraft to move some things, but we can only do that for so long. So that means that we're gonna have to find a way to get through the woods. And while I can fit through, y'all are bigger and machete.
Haskin pulls out 2 hand axes. Like,
I
you
am
want to
not-
use hand axe? Good.
I will not go into that jungle without somebody leading us through. So they will have the machete. Because I don't want to get lost in the jungle.
Yes, there are plenty of places around here to find guides as well. But to answer your question, sir, what's your name again? And he looks at you. Cole?
I am called Cole.
If you are to buy one of our rain catchers, and say 4 of our insect repellents, which each come with 20 doses of insect repellent, as well as the clothing that you wish, I'll sell it all to you for 5 gold pieces.
Done.
The canoes,
deal. There's
if
5
you're
gold pieces.
taking a group deal for canoes, will be 40 gold pieces per canoe, as opposed to our standard 50.
I don't
They
have
are
that kind of money.
genuinely
We-
handcrafted.
We actually do have that kind of money because we just got paid by Zindari, but that's okay. Or Sinda.
I don't have that kind of money free. And I don't want to do a canoe. I don't know how to steer a canoe. And he said that we need multiples, and I can't steer that big old thing, and I'm not going to pay that kind of money. No.
Well, listen.
What is that? And he looks at Winter and he's like, I've been trying to figure it out.
I've seen halflings before. I'm not familiar with you. What are you?
She is also a goblin.
At that, I just smile real big and nod like, "Yep."
Goblins from where you're from, the female persuasion,
Ask
are
him
extremely
something.
pretty and talkative.
Oh shit! I'm a
Well, I
goblin.
just kinda
I'm a
smile.
goblin too. Fucking I am Spartacus with this goblin shit.
Okay, so you can give.
Winterin just kind of curtsies at him and then looks. Are there like any kind of feathers or flowers that he's got on his stand?
You realize he just called a goblin pretty.
I do.
There would be some laying about. I mean, it's not something that's actually like the feathers themselves aren't for sale or anything. They're just kind of sitting there, kind of like accenting certain pieces that he has sitting there. Like one's like accented around this particular Ikalwa, which is, like I said, it's a simple melee weapon. It's a traditional Chultan spear of sorts. It looks very, very well made, but it's like got all these like rainbow color of feathers just like tufted out from around it, and a few attached to it.
Okay. I would pick up several of the loose ones and say, "Do you happen to have a sewing kit?"
Not particularly.
Do you know where I could get one? Just a little something.
You may be able to find that more or less at Xanti's place, a few stalls down, along with the cloth.
Oh, okay, I'll check over there. How much for these feathers? And she holds up, just like several feathers.
Just take them and stop talking to me.
That is awesome, thank you. And I grab my little pack of clothes and the feathers and I tuck them in the little bag and I'm like, these are going to be great. And then I hand my little gold coin over to Marmon and says, I'm going to go look over there. Do you want to come look?
I will follow the little one.
Okay.
Fancy clothes. I will not wear this.
So
Thank
just
you
to
for the
clarify,
rain catcher.
just to clarify, the 5 gold was for everybody to get clothes.
5 gold would, well, if you're wanting everybody to get the same kind of quality clothes, it's going to be an extra gold per head.
Okay.
So,
Clarify
I'm-
that, 'cause I wasn't
So-
sure.
I'm looking
technic-
for my character's looking for armor, not clothes. So.
okay, that's cool too. Let's handle this first right quick.
Yeah,
Cole,
yeah.
like I say, if you want to get all the insect repellent, or if y'all are just splitting this, it's going to be 4 doses of insect, or 4 blocks.
Files.
Yeah, like they're actually a block more like. Or you could take the salves. It's your choice. Probably take the salves. That's the highest amount of doses. It's got 20 applications in each one. So you got 4 vials of insect repellent salve. You've got 1 rain catcher. You've each got a set of clothes if you're willing to pay the extra 4 gold pieces. Well, 3 gold pieces since 2 since Marmor nor Winterin are getting clothing.
I said I wanted clothes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
So I handed my gold
8
piece
gold
up and
pieces
then-
total. Or am I counting that wrong?
Not sure. So,
Alright, so
rain-
I'm putting a gold in for like the insect repellent and the rain catcher, but I'm still gonna
Catcher.
go to the other guy to try to get like leather and cloth to make my own clothes.
Okay.
Yeah, Marmorn does the same. What's the
8 gold
for the-
pieces is the grand finale between the 4 of you.
insect stuff. Which is 20 doses each, you said? 20
Yep.
doses per vial.
Each has 20 doses. 1 application will
Okay.
protect its wearer from normal insects for up to 24 hours. It is waterproof and it doesn't wash off in the rain.
Hot damn.
Good
And
stuff.
then
We can say that I
jungle
gave him a
clothes.
second gold since the price went up from 1 gold to 2 gold before I went off.
That's fine. So, as y'all are gathering your wares, you see Marmorn and Winterin making their way down towards the other vendor, who happens to have some different types of armor and such. Most of them seem to be made for jungle make type armor. And then he also has loose cloth and hides and such as that. You also notice that this particular vendor has a few different types of like nice looking jewelry, like beads and like beaded necklaces with gems encrusted into some of them. Some of them look more like it's pearls. Others are like turquoise beadery and stuff such as that. Just really nice looking gems and jewelry. Not a whole ton of it though there at that particular stall.
Um,
I'm looking
Marmorn,
for I'm
go
looking
ahead.
for your leather armor that's good for jungle use in this climate.
You can't wear 20 pounds of leather in the jungle. You need cotton. Cotton breed.
So the both of you looks at Winterin and Marmorn. The both of you are in need of armor.
Just
it's-
me,
I
just
don't
me.
need armor. I don't need armor. I like these beats that you have right here, and I like some of those little decorations. Do you have a sewing kit?
She talks a lot. Just
A sewing kit. Yes, we can provide you with a sewing kit. For the low price of 1 silver piece, we can provide you with a sewing kit. As for armor, he kind of looks you up and down. He's like, what you already have could effectively function in the jungle. It's not overly bulky, but if you like, I could take it and do some alterations and maybe add in some more of the supple dinosaur skin or hides that we have here to make it more airy.
yes, yes, exactly. That's what I would like.
It will take. He looks at you and looks back at his stuff. 2 days to finish the alterations.
Do we
Sounds
have
perfect.
2 days?
I don't know, but I need.
I don't know either.
But I can't walk around in the jungle in this heat like this. I have to do it. Gives him the armor.
Very well. It will be 3 gold pieces total for the armor alterations, and you can take this, and he writes out this like little, I guess, receipt type deal and hands it over to you. He says, in your name,
Marmorn.
Marmor.
I'm imagining Marmor just stripping down in the middle of this thing because he was wearing this stuff. He's just like, yeah, here, dog, take it. Here's
I imagine it has clothes on underneath it.
now he's like in a little loincloth skivvies.
Yes.
He also has clothing on.
Yeah, super chafed.
He does have regular clothing, so you ain't got to worry about that. There is some regular
He
clothing.
wears his Armo commando style.
Oh gosh.
Don't do that.
That
Don't
is
ever wear
great.
armor commando style.
So as y'all are walking, as the 3 of y'all, Banu, Heskin, and Coleman, are walking up on Marmorn and Winter, and you see Marmorn like dismantling his leather armor. He's like slowly taking it off piece by piece and handing it over. He's not getting naked by any means. He's got plenty of clothing to cover himself. Winterin sitting there handing over a silver piece and grabbing this little kit. Looks like a little leather kit with a couple little feathery accents around it. That seems to
And
be some
beads.
sort of sewing and beads. Okay, so you actually want jewelry beads? Oh god.
Well, I don't want anything that's like jewelry. I'm just looking for like beads, be it like wooden beading, any kind of decorative.
There are wooden
natural
beads,
looking.
and then there's some gem type beads and stuff such as that. So it depends on what you want. Like, what kind of beads? What kind of beads would you like, little one? I have a huge selection of loose beads, if that's what you desire. And he pulls out this like tub that's like full of these sectioned off little areas. Some are wood, some are turquoise. I tend to make these in my free time anyway.
I have loose beads.
she just like starts digging through the bead pile and laying out like a little pattern. All of them that she's pulling are wood or some kind of natural stone, nothing that's precious or anything like that, just like very basic but colorful.
Okay. The wood ones will cost you can get 5 for a silver. If you're wanting one of the step ups, which is like the turquoise, that's going to cost you like a gold piece per.
Oh no, she's wood all the way around.
All right.
And we're gonna take, you said 5 for a silver.
And it comes with the string that you need if you want it. They'll give you the string for free.
Okay.
Oh,
Well, she's gonna give you 2 gold. and get
Ooh.
the equivalent of beads.
He like, oh my god. So he pulls out this like leather sack and begins just like hefting handfuls of freaking wooden beads into this thing. And eventually hands her like this like near bowling ball size sack essentially of beads.
I don't
She
think
looks at
that's
it and
good to take into the jungle.
You just don't know. These beads are amazing and they're going to do wonderful things. And just you wait. I'm going to show you. These are going to be the perfect things. Just hold on.
But-
And she takes them and like folds it and hands him her 2 gold. Thank you very much, sir. And ties it on. And it's just like this big bulge on her hip.
Trey
It'll be
disappeared.
fine because
Yeah, he said he had to go right back. He had to run it back.
Okay, all right.
nature called him.
So you get these beads, and as Banu is saying that about them, the guy's focus shifts over to Banu, and he looks equally disgusted and weirded out at the same time. And he's like, "If you are from around here, little one, which you clearly are not, you'd know that a lot of the people out in the jungle tend to work in trades and barter. Some of these can be worth quite a bit in trade, depending upon where you go."
But do you normally bring bowling ball sacks full? Like we play games with balls the size of the sack that she's carrying. Is that a good idea?
That is not for me to decide.
I can spread them out. They don't have to be in a big bulk. But trust me, they'll come in handy.
Very well. And he gladly finishes up his deal with you. He says, is there anything else that I can help you with? Are you looking for anything in particular? You're all clearly not from here.
Have you heard anything about anything going on in this area that seems to be strange or unusual?
No. Like, what do you mean by strange or unusual?
We've come to investigate certain going-ons in the world that seem to be affecting everyone, and we were told that it might be somewhere in Chult, and we weren't sure if there were any reports that you might know, being a very well-to-do merchant who interacts with lots of people. If you've heard any rumors or anything like that about something called the Death Curse.
I've heard very vague tales of the Death Curse. It's more or less going through the upper houses of the merchant princes where we hear more information about such. What makes you think that it's here, that it's emanating from Chult? This is such a wonderful, pristine place.
Well, not the city per se, but somewhere in the jungle.
I mean, it could be possible. There are literally thousands of ruins throughout this jungle where nefarious types could hide. Hide something that could cause something that I don't, but I have no inclination. Well, I mean, I would like to see the Death Curse end, but I have no idea where to begin to even look.
Do you know of any, what were they called, Yuan-Ti? Snake people?
You mean Raznasi?
Well,
yes, that's one of the names we heard.
not him specifically.
There are many
You
Yuan
may
Ti
know
in the
one.
jungles, but Raznasi is the most well known of these. He's one terrible person. He's the reason why these jungles are infested with undead.
Very terrible.
Do you happen to know where the death cult is mainly located? Like the main area where they are?
Are you speaking of Raz?
Yes,
I think
yes.
I think he means just the undead in general.
Oh. Nobody has any true maps that show all of where they're mostly located, but the further into Schultz you get, the further away from the mainland, such as here,
You're guaranteed to experience them, and they get thicker in certain areas. Most people that adventure out there don't come back very often, so there's not a guarantee of where you'll find them. It's kind of hit and miss, mostly hit any direction that you go.
Do you
Understood.
know of anyone, given your vast network of contacts that I'm sure exist, that might know more about what's going on in the jungle?
Maybe one of the merchant lords, or if needs be, you could possibly even. And he kind of leans in a little bit. He says, the best case, but probably the worst choice, is to go visit the old city and speak to the beggar queen.
Okay, that's like good plan. Where old city? Why are we whispering?
If you wish for a map of the city, you can purchase one for probably a couple silver over there. And there's like a merchant over there selling like just little maps of the city and the coast and everything. Like nothing more. Like y'all haven't even looked at the map that you got right now, so you're not 100% sure what's even allocated.
Yeah, we
on
didn't
there,
want to just
but
pull this thing out of the middle of the marketplace.
Yep, that's true. But you can guarantee that there's going to be at least a map of the city that would show you exactly what's what, and where the old city would be. Or you can just go over there and just kind of glance over the wares and probably get a good glance at where the old city would be.
Perhaps we should secure our rooms first,
Yeah.
so that we can consolidate what we have purchased already before venturing further into this wonderful, humid place.
You know about the jungle. Will my clothes work? And he like holds them up.
I lift him up so you can make sure he gets a good view. Look at him.
And when he
I'm
lifts me up,
around.
he's just like he puts his arms up.
Like,
Don't jump me.
are they the clothes that you just bought, or are they clothes?
No, I
that-
didn't. He didn't buy the clothes there. He's not wearing those
Oh,
clothes.
okay, all
He's
right.
not wearing prepackaged stuff.
It's very well made.
What is he, a farmer?
So, he says maybe if you take some of the sleeves or pants legs off, it might work better. I mean, this isn't. That looks more like something that they would wear over in the desertous areas on the other side of the peninsula. But within the jungle itself, the humidity will kill you in that.
I need better clothes. Can you put me down now?
Oh, yes.
Well, you can always go have something custom tailored.
No, I will.
At this point in time, Winterin kind of puts her beads up and she goes, well, Mormon has to wait for 2 days for his leather armor to get done, so I'm sure you could have something done in time that would suit your please.
Thank
I
you
have
for the
no clue
cheer,
what happened
something snazzy. Who's some? Is that somebody in our group?
That's Aaron. Yes.
Aaron.
Aaron!
All right.
All right.
I want to talk to this tailor. I want to get stuff made.
Also, before we leave, this merchant, I did need to ask him about buying hides.
Buying what?
Because, no offense to your clothing, but I prefer to make my own. Do you have any hide or leather that's good for jungle? I like to make.
We have a vast array, if you pay attention here, and if you want a larger choice, you can go a few more stalls down. You can find about anything you like. You can find Tyrannosaurus Rex hide. You could find, I don't know, maybe even some Salhagen hide armor, or at least the hide that you need to create what you would like. Are you a armor smith or a leather worker, a tanner?
I work in leather. Usually more like belts and hats, but a bit of clothing.
Are you any kin to Harbor Master Zindar by chance?
No, don't recall that name.
Just curious. You're the closest thing I've seen to his kind. He's rather hard to miss.
Okay. I should have written that name down when I heard it.
Harbor Master Zendar.
Harbor Master. And there.
Oh, you don't want
Alright.
to. You don't want to check that link out. It's terrible.
So I'll just look through like the hides and stuff he has, find something that I think will look good for like a loincloth or like loose pants, some kind of poncho, and
Yep,
maybe
he has some
hat.
really nice hides. I mean, anywhere, about any style and type you could think of, he's probably got something along those lines that will work out well for you. You could even find like maybe a, I don't know, like, what is it? Can't remember the name of the dinosaur off the top of my head, but it's a dinosaur and it's got kind of a brownish hide. But you
That's
can find
very
pretty much
vague.
what you like and tailor it to however you like. It's just going to take you a little bit of time, and that's pretty much going to be it. Is time and checks.
Well, how much is that gonna run me?
He looks you up and down. You just want enough for a loincloth? Or do you want a chest piece?
Well, yes, it's clothes, not too much stuff to cover legs because
5 silver pieces.
Sounds good. All right. So put 5 silver on the counter. Bundle up the stuff I got.
And I overheard you say you need
Write it
to
on my
find
character sheet.
yourself a place to stay.
We were going to go to the House of Repose.
Oh, Yapakaya will be happy to have you.
Sure.
The apple what?
Yapakaya.
Yippee-ki-yay!
Yapakaya.
Yippee-ki-yay!
Exactly.
That sounds like an interesting bird.
Do you know the way there? And he goes like kind of wanting to give you directions again. He's like, or you can just go
Not-
there and purchase a.
Not any. No, we have no idea where we're.
Okay, well, and he like pulls out like, even if you have a piece of paper, I can write you a map, or you can go purchase one from my friend over here for a very low price.
How low?
Go ask him.
Withering
Yeah,
walks
it's-
off.
It's a big city. Sure we can find.
It's a huge city.
It's a really big city. And it's like almost always elbow to elbow everywhere you go, and then occasionally you have a dinosaur running through the crowd.
It's not.
And then occasionally dinosaur. Instead of
Does this
jazz
map
hands.
person? Does this map person have some kind of like small, like convenience store type map, of the area for the town?
Yeah, for the most part, you're looking over the wares a little bit. You're kind of like peeking up onto the table because you're pretty short. And back turned to you is this very like athletic framed female of sorts. She has like bronzish colored hair, kind of sticking back in what looks like it's almost like an undercut on bottom and like dreads that are pulled back up into a really tight ponytail.
Mm-hmm.
And she's just kind of like looking over some of her stuff and arranging things. She's not paying much attention.
Excuse me. I really like your hair, but I need a map.
What?
Down here.
She turns around and looks.
I wave.
She says, "Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't even notice you down there."
It happens, and you do have kind of a tall table. But I was wondering, do you have any little maps of the town that are, just kind of handy for tourists to know the main spots? Like don't go there, or go here for good food, or go there for a good bed, or maybe here for a new shadow. I don't know.
Of course, little maps for little hands. Yes, I have some for the smaller people. Sometimes
I
we get
mean,
halflings
little-
through here. I haven't seen a gnome in years.
Well, yeah, we're here, and I kind of curtsy.
Hi.
I'm the only. Well, actually, there's two of us little ones, so I need two little ones, and I need one, two, yeah, two little ones and two big ones.
Wait.
Maps?
Mhm.
What?
Well, I mean, yeah, sure, I can do that. The little ones are a silver apiece. I'll sell you the big one for 2.
Just give us one little
Actually,
one
you
and
know
one
what?
big one.
Y'all aren't over here with me. Y'all are still over at Dooman.
Oh yeah. my bad.
I'm pretty sure we can
Actually,
hear
I
you.
need 3. Actually,
Yeah.
I need 3 big ones. I need 3 big ones, and I hand her the gold and take the maps, and I run back over and I just start handing them to them. You and you and you. We have maps
Why did you buy maps for all of us?
in case we get lost.
I
It's a
mean,
busy place, separated.
it's always good to split the party.
No, it's a terrible idea.
I look. It's just. It's got like stuff labeled like "be safe place" or something like that. Good food. Because that's what she said. So she said it's a tourist map. So I'm literally imagining those little pamphlets they give out, and it's like, here, come here,
thinking of, like-
advertisements and things.
I
I
was
was
thinking
thinking
like
like
a
you
one
go to
star
the
rating.
amusement park. You know, like when you go to the amusement park and it's got like the oversized ride, you know, big fountain drink over here.
They got soda. Oh, I
And you
drink
said-
water.
So y'all are heading to Kaya's House of Repose?
Yeah, the one with the good night's sleep.
I
All
wanted
right.
to get
That
my
one.
fancy clothes just so I can not die in the jungle. And other than
Oh,
that,
yeah.
yes.
The monk's gonna die, so don't worry about
Oh,
it.
I also need to buy a shield. I completely forgot.
I don't need to go through anything. I just want exactly what I'm wearing, more breathable. I don't care how much it costs. I'm looking exactly the same. It can be made out of different material, but it's going to look the same. Not exactly the same. They can do some changes. They can add some flourishes to it, but I want a cape. I will not compromise on the cape.
You eventually come across an area in this place that actually has something similar to what you're wearing. It's not identical, but it is very close to identical. Like just slight shades off.
Did they happen to have it in goblin size for whatever reason?
I mean, halflings are pretty common around here. Gnomes are rather uncommon, and you're about the same size as either. You could easily with just... I mean, you could possibly even ask the the lady in the group who wanted a tailor's a particular a sewing kit to take it up for you, hem it up.
I want.
I didn't say I was any good at it. She just
I want a
wanted
professional to do it.
it.
I mean, if you want a professional to do it, it'll take a day to hem it up. They'll have to take your measurements.
All right, I want them to sit there and take the measurements of a goblin, since they seem to hate goblins so much. They're gonna sit there and measure.
The whole time, this person, this girl is sitting there like taking your measurements. She's like,
Hello.
"Hello,
You seem quite revolted by me.
I am both revolted and confused. I've never seen a
Which
Batiri
one
like you
Are
before.
you more? I am not that.
You are a Batiri.
No, I am not.
Batiri. You are a Batiri.
No.
Yes.
No,
Yes,
I
you
am not
are.
stupid. Speaking slowly is not going to help me. Maybe you should listen slower and listen to what I'm saying.
Heskin pops in goblin.
Batiri is the Cholton word for goblin.
Oh. Okay.
You are unlike any Batiri I have ever seen. I am wondering
So
how
maybe
you
I'm
even
not
got
one of
here.
them. I teleported.
But you're green. You are one of them.
You have the same skin color as like 5 other people that I've seen, and they weren't your race.
Most people here are Cholton.
I don't believe you. Because you don't seem to be able to tell things apart.
Oh, me. Either way, as long as you don't try to eat me or any of the people here, you're fine.
Why
I'm
would
just-
I eat you?
Because that's what Batiri do. They eat people.
What?
They eat
I don't
themselves.
eat people. I've never eaten myself or other people.
They're cannibals. Well,
I do not even eat meat.
you're Neo Batiri. God, you're just not like other Batiri, but you are still a Batiri here.
You're wrong.
You'll realize they have a big prejudice against goblins around here. You're just not what they're used to seeing, though, in a goblin. So, she continues to measure you out and everything, and she says, you seem nice enough. Be back tomorrow by noon at the latest. We'll have this hemmed up and tailored and ready for you. It'll cost you a two silver piece deposit and 2 silver pieces on tomorrow when you arrive to obtain it.
But the 2 silver pieces,
And
they're very clearly a strange type of money, though. The stuff that he brought over, the dinars.
she hands you this little wooden token that it seems like nothing real important about it. There's no like carvings or anything on it. It's just a little plain wooden token that's probably about a 1/4 inch thick. It looks almost like a coin made of wood. She says, bring this so you can claim it tomorrow.
You just like sleight of hands it away. Although he's more just, he's really bad at it.
Roll a sleight of hand.
No, I choose to fail it. He's really bad at it.
What?
I choose to fail. He's very bad at it. He's trying to get better. It's something he's been interested in. But he's very bad at it. I choose to fail.
She's like, oh, you might want to pick that up before somebody else gets
I didn't
it.
drop it. It's in my
Okay.
Behold!
So after all this, y'all begin making your way towards the market ward. It's probably like just a little bit afternoon time now, and the streets are still hustling and bustling pretty well. And as you're making your way around, let's see, you're coming from here, you're heading this way towards the market ward. You get up here near this one dock area. And all of a sudden, you hear somebody kind of holler, and they say, "Up! It's getting loose! It's getting loose!" And you hear this loud crash, and you hear, and all of a sudden, you hear somebody scream, and the water splash, and then there's some scuffling off to the side, and you look over towards the dock, and you see this terrible bipedal lizard-like creature with some like feathers around its neck, almost like it's got a mane of sorts. It's got sharp ass teeth, and it is hauling ass down the dock, like knocking people off. And as it gets just a little bit off the dock, it's probably still about 30 feet from you, maybe. It goes to leap at this one particular woman that's walking by, and she squeals just as it's leaping in the air, and it kind of like kicks her and gouges her a bit and continues to run off. And they're like, catch it! Catch it!
What a terrible accident. Too bad we're busy.
As it gets close, I try to snap my fingers at that location and cast sleep at it.
Just
Okay.
solve the problem right off the bat.
Well, we'll see. The dice have been hating me tonight, so I'm probably going to roll 5 ones.
And as you're doing that, the woman that it kind of like leaped at and kicked, she's like rolling on the ground, like moaning, and you can see some blood kind of pooling up around her where her arm is just bleeding like profusely.
Winterin would go over to her side and pull it out. With this, the herbalism kit can act for healing, right?
You
can
could use the
stabilize
herb.
people.
Or like,
No, it's a medicine kit to stabilize with.
Yeah, the healer's kit you need to stabilize people.
Yeah, healer's kit.
Well, you could roll with the But for
I
some
thought the herbalism still gave like advantage for the healing.
No,
For natural
herbalism
healing.
is for making like herbal concoctions and stuff such as that.
And
Medicines
and-
and poultices and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
and antitoxins.
Yep. And as you cast your sleep spell, kind of taking this creature by surprise, the Velociraptor, which you don't necessarily know that's what it is, but this Velociraptor-like beast falls asleep along with like 3 other bystanders that it was charging towards. They just all just hit the ground all at one time.
Oh look, they're taking a nap together.
Someone with rope skills, tie it up quickly.
They just
It only lasts for a minute.
Problem solved.
I walk over there with a rope and start tying it up.
I would be with the lady that had gotten injured and trying to use like some of the fabric or something to tie off her wound.
And I'll go.
Are you hungry? You're muted.
You're muted.
You speak.
who's
You're
muted? Who's muted?
Hiscon's muted. Hiscon's muted.
Heskin?
Hiscan.
Yeah.
Hiscon. That's how I'm pronouncing it.
Ping!
I'm a goblin. I'll
Chris.
pronounce it how I want, damn it.
And I walk over to the other people that I put to sleep, and I just flick them in the nose to like wake them up, like. Flick, flick.
Hello, test.
Hello.
I can hear you now.
All right. I don't know why I did that again.
Does your mic turn off if you don't use it?
I don't know. It was still set to like use the microphone, but for some reason it just stopped listening.
Are you hungry, Hiscon?
So I'm guessing nobody heard me say I want to run to the dinosaur and tackle it.
No.
No.
I put it to sleep first.
So yeah, I was gonna like run at it as he casts and then just dogpile onto it. Like, yeah, I could eat, but it's probably somebody's pet. Should ask first.
He's gonna tie it up. Go eat.
I don't think he means to eat that thing. He meant to go
No.
find food.
No, go get food.
Oh, okay, yes, makes more sense. Yes.
Okay,
What,
so
I use context clues. We are tackling dinosaur. You ask if I want to eat. I assume dinosaur.
All right. So we're going to say that since Heskin wasn't heard at the time, he took off charging towards it. And just as you popped your spell off and the dinosaur like fell asleep and the people fell asleep around him, Heskin like barreled into the dinosaur and just kind of like tumbled with him. And it just came to a rest right there in that spot. And
It's just
it didn't wake the dinosaur up because I'm saying it happened pretty much kind of simultaneously. It was like he hit, the sleep hit, and it just knocked the dinosaur out. So Heskin's like kind of beaming at himself right now. I knocked the dinosaur out by myself. I'm the
We are
man.
heroes.
And
He assumes he did it.
All right.
the people are waking up, and as they're waking up, you see like a couple of the harbor guards kind of running over towards you, and they say, "Oh my God, that could have been so much worse. Is she all right?" And she's pointing over at. They're pointing at the lady that's over there, kind of like rolling around. That I think Winterin is gonna try to do something for. And as they say that, all of a sudden you see, poof, and this draconic humanoid of sorts appears in like this puff of like almost like a glowing mist, like a glowing golden mist, right next to the dinosaur, standing over Heskin and kind of looking about with almost a confused look on his face. He's like,
Hello.
"Well, I was coming to handle that."
already taken care of. Glad to be of
You're
service.
very lucky we were here.
Yes, we were here to tackle the situation.
Who are you?
Oh, apologies. I am Heskin, and I hold up my hand to shake his.
He reaches his hand out and gives you a firm handshake, like extremely firm. He looks at Banu as Banu is chiming in, and the rest of y'all, but his eyes kind of like focus right back to Banu. He's like,
Oh, don't worry. He is not from around here. He is good goblin, I think.
This Batiri is friends of yours.
More so than other goblins.
Friend is the strong word, but yes.
Banu is a good guy.
He
He
is okay.
also appears out of the middle of the air and falls on you. Fine.
It's what I do.
I am glad to see that you have subdued this raptor, and I appreciate it. You are new here to Port Nine Zaru, I imagine.
Yes, everybody keeps stating that obvious fact.
He is very much so.
People are going to continue to state that for a while. How? I'm not even going to ask about the Batiri. He seems harmless enough. My name is Harbor
Thank
Master
you.
Zindar.
Ah,
We heard the review. I forget why. I actually have forgotten why I played that as Eskin.
because Zindy thought you and he looked similar.
Yep.
Oh,
They thought that maybe you were related to him of some sort.
because of
but
what these were, the nepotism.
but the one thing you notice more about this particular what you would think is Dragonborn to begin with, he actually has a tail that is jutting out from behind his robes. Give me a Arcana check, everybody that is proficient in Arcana.
Yeah, let's see how badly Roll20 screws me tonight.
It didn't screw you the last time.
He says
alright.
that every time he hedges his bets.
So
Yeah.
Cole is the only one with an Arcana?
I don't have it.
I have acrobatics. I can do a handstand to impress him.
Winterin, are you there?
She does not have her mic or headphones
Hold
on
on
right
a
now.
sec. Let me see. I don't know if she has Arcana or not.
Probably not.
Do you have
Do you have
Arcana?
Arcana, Winterin? Proficiency.
Oh,
She's being silent.
but deadly.
All the buttons. Not as a proficiency. no.
Okay, then never mind. So, Cole, you do recognize this particular. It does look like a Dragonborn, but he stands probably nearly a foot taller than Heskin. He's much larger than Heskin when it comes to height. Not quite as bulky muscle-wise. He has a tail. This is actually a half dragon. He looks to be a half gold dragon. And he is some sort of magic user, as you can tell by his staff and the fact that he just appeared out of nowhere.
Wow, he's a broken artifact of 3.5. Cool.
Half dragon, Harbor Master Zindar. He says, well, I imagine we should pay you for the inconvenience of
That
having
would
to
be
deal with
lovely.
this. Yeah. He reaches in his pocket, which is actually a pouch kind of on his backside, and he produces what looks like 5 gold pieces. And he goes to drop one in each of your hands, and as he drops it, it multiplies into 25 gold pieces each.
I am going to
Ooh.
give 10 of those to the woman that got injured.
What is
That's
Winterin
a-
doing to the woman that got injured?
That's a neat trick. I'll have to learn that one.
She's like turning white right
Um,
now, like bleeding out. Like she's
No,
doing
I
pretty bad.
know things going crazy. No, I said that I would have taken like strips of cloth, be it off of my own gear or off of her, preferably off of her clothing, not my own.
Just run up, start
And
whipping
I'd
her
have tried to
clothes.
bound the wound to staunch any blood flow. Words are eluding
Medicine
me,
check.
sorry.
Medicine check if you're not using a spell.
Well, she was trying to see. I mean, how severe? does
She's
she look?
dying.
I mean,
She's
is she,
bleeding
like,
out. Like
gored?
she was like she took a
Oh.
velociraptor claw to her arm and it's like hit a main artery. She's bleeding out.
She's a commoner and she was attacked by a monster. She's gonna die.
Marmorn,
Okay, so
Marmorn, go over there to roll to help her too. Help her, like,
If you're
with the
helping her with a
bleeding.
medicine check, yeah, she'll get advantage on the check.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I'll roll
I will also
advantage.
assist, even though it gives no other. By assisting, I'm just talking over their shoulder. That looks very bad.
Oof.
See that I do not seem to be getting anywhere. When
It
I
is
finally get-
bleeding and bleeding and bleeding.
Hold on, let me try.
There's a very good little thing.
And
Help her,
I
help
come in and just, I don't know, some. Oh, normal. It's just,
What the?
and just hit like a certain pressure point, just to.
Yep.
Banu Xena Warrior Princess the shit out of her.
Winterin
No,
had
a single
started
hit.
to- I had started to like focus on my little druid focus to cast a cure on her, and seeing him do this, she just like stops in mid casting, and like turns and looks at him like, "What?"
It looks like it would have been extremely painful, but the woman at this point is unconscious. But he succeeds at staunching her blood flow with a single pressure point strike, just almost like a cobra strike. And she seems to kind of stabilize, but she does not wake up. Do what
It's
now?
a good thing she was unconscious, because that would have hurt more than anything she's ever felt before.
She's alive. That is amazing. And I
Marmorn,
just kind of
Marmorn
start
starts.
wrapping it up.
Marmorn starts yelling out, "We need help! We need a real doctor! Where's a real doctor?"
We need a real doctor.
Oh yeah, that's gonna go away. We do need a real doctor at some point.
All
Is
right.
there a
That
doctor
is
in the
a
house?
temporary solution to a very permanent problem.
So, you've succeeded at your first technical conflict that really wasn't a conflict because it just ended so fast in Port Nine Zaru.
You're welcome.
Just because the wizard ended it in one turn doesn't mean it wasn't a conflict.
You have added some really necessary items to your inventory as well, and you've met Harbor Master Zendar, which is a very influential figure here. It's already 11:07, and I know that we had that little technical difficulty. I don't want to go much later than this because I got to be up early in the morning and possibly work longer tomorrow.
That sucks.
So this is a good point
Yeah.
to stop off anyway, because
Yeah.
once y'all get into the inn and everything, there's going to be a little bit of pickup in the story and stuff, and then it'll kind of get you more towards things.
That doesn't make me feel good about that. When you get to the end, shit's gonna go real. It's like, oh.
That's when it really starts.
It's always good to leave off on a cliffhanger, but you've successfully saved a woman.
Down.
But looking at your map, though, previously, as I did forget to tell you that the one that Winterin gave you, you notice that the old city is up to like the this isn't quite done right. It's like southwest of the city, the southwestern edge of the city, because this particular map is very that's you're actually pointing at the southeast where you're pinging.
Oh.
It's set up really weird. Like north is what would normally be east.
I got it. So it's like over
Oh.
here.
Yep,
I
the
didn't
old
realize-
city.
The Colonel's directions rough.
And you were told the beggar queen would be somebody that
Yeah.
you might want to talk to that would possibly know more.
I took a bunch of notes. Is there anywhere I can copy this where everybody can see them?
Big
Uh,
little dog.
Who do you want to see him? Everybody in the party?
Yeah, I was just taking general notes of everything.
I can make a party handout that you can copy and paste them into that everybody can look at. Do you want to be
Yeah.
the main party note taker?
I mean, why don't we just do like whoever's taking notes? I was taking notes during this one, so someone else
we
wants
can-
to do it next time.
Yeah, y'all can do like a roundabout way of like every session somebody else takes the notes.
That's fine.
Do we have anybody that particularly wants to be a party inventory clerk? Specifically, because I like to assign that to one person if at all possible, because it's when you start getting multiple hands into that, it gets kind of hectic.
I'll do that if someone is going to mainly take notes, because doing both can be a pain in the ass.
Okay, so what
Well,
we'll do
I guess
is...
I can mainly take notes. That's fine.
Well, no, I was
I
going
don't
to say
think really
if
taking notes, but
Cole...
I'll try.
if Cole wants to handle the or if Adam, sorry, I'll start calling you
That's
by
fine.
your character eventually, and that's all I'll call you by for some reason.
I do the exact same thing.
So if Adam or Cole is willing to take the inventory essentially for the party, we can just knock him off of the note-taking list, and you can have Winterin, yourself, Heskin, and Banu do the notes, like flip-flop in between sessions.
Okay.
And we'll do it something like in order where, let's see.
Well, I was going to say, if you have the ability to make it accessible by all, then we can just add the notes as we take them, and then they're all there for everybody.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking more like if we could all do it. Or I could
Yeah.
just make a Google Doc where everyone can get to it.
That's what I'd do, is just do a shared Google Doc.
Okay, I'll do a Google Doc, and what I'll do is I'll quickly paste it into Discord after we finish the stream here, and I'll give y'all all editing privileges. As for the actual inventory, do you want that done as a Google Doc too, Adam, or would you rather that be here in Discord?
We can if you make it not a Google Doc, but a what does Google call it? I want to say Excel file, but that's not what they call it. The sheets or whatever.
Yeah, Google
Sheets, yeah.
Sheets.
Yeah. So then I can have like tabs for like mundane items and magic items,
Okay.
or maybe tabs for everybody or whatever.
That's cool too. So I'll make those up, and I'll go ahead and I'll get at least the notes one up first, since y'all don't really have any party loot that you necessarily have to keep track of yet, but it's going to get that way soon enough.
Other than the bug repellent.
Oh yeah, the insect repellent. That actually will be very handy because the insects here in Schult are pretty crazy. It's pretty bad. If you've ever been in South Carolina and rode down the river in the middle of the summer or spring and you get attacked by all them terrible swarms, that's essentially what happens when you go into the jungle.
Mosquitoes everywhere.
Yeah.
So yeah. But anyways, I guess we'll go ahead and stop the stream here. Thank you for everybody who did come and check us out. Thank you again, Stewie, for cheering some bits, and Aaron, if you're still there. I don't know if you're still there or not.
He's not. He's gone.
But
Never to return.
these streams will start picking up more pace as well, because now I actually will have less prep time, because it's starting to be slower, and I'll be able to read up all these books even more so than I need to memorize a lot of this stuff. It's hard as crap though, because there's so much shit in this damn module. I'm not used to
We
running
got a good
modules.
amount accomplished tonight though.
We also
Yeah,
won't
me
have another
too.
shopping montage,
Yeah.
so
Right.
those always take forever.
I just need to buy a shield on the way out of town.
And I have to go back
Quick
and get
in
my
and out.
armor. I have to go back and get my armor.
45 minutes later.
That's simple
Should I get
enough.
This shield, or should I get this shield?
Should I get
Which-
round shield with the metal in middle, or like the diamond shape, or the
Is
kite?
this one?
Or this one that has
accentuate
smiley
my eyes?
All right, well, we'll go ahead and call the stream here. Like I say, thanks everybody for coming. I mean, first actual session went pretty good. Lots of role play. Wasn't quite wasn't combat heavy, thankfully. That's kind of fun sometimes.
Very
There was
sleep heavy,
one
though.
round of combat, and it was over
Yeah.
before.
It was a
anybody rolled
surprise
a-
round for the most part. It was just like, bam, done.
Manu just stood there like this, and it just fell. I was like,
That's why I love the sleep spell at level 1 and 2. It's just like the guard
yeah,
sees
the-
you. I can't sleep. The guard doesn't see shit.
Sleep is
All
also
right.
good for like. Sleep is also good for like hunting. Like if you just go and sleep on like a fish or a deer.
It's like dynamiting the ocean. It's just like I sleep the jungle. What goes to sleep?
Sleep on a bunch of deer. Like, we go-
All right, y'all. Say bye to everybody. Holla! We'll see you next Tuesday, y'all. Same time. Hopefully not
Bye
the
for
same
sleep
problems.
deer hunting.
Bye. Sleep well.